and salutations, everybody. It's I, Jeremy, aka XLJVOG, and welcome back to another episode of Colecast, the podcast for all of us. And we are not alone today. First, with me is the very talented, beautiful, gorgeous, and amazing Sad Seven Blah.
Hey.
And this episode, we're going to the dogs. That's right, because we are going to talk about our children. We're going to talk about our dogs, and they are all in the podcast room with us right now, so this should be interesting. You may hear some background noise. They may have a couple things to say, but we are just going to, first of all, we are huge dog lovers.
Mm-hmm.
These guys, all boys, by the way, we have 4, and they are like our children. So we are going to talk about that on today's episode of Colecast. Now, before we get started, ironically enough, I'm going to go ahead and tell a story that happened literally today and scared the ever-living fuck out of me. So, and it involves our dogs, our 2 youngest, Cash and Reggie. And Cash, he likes to dig.
Who's the digger?
Yeah, he digs quite a bit in our backyard. And unbeknownst to me, he apparently had made an escape route. Now, keep in mind where we live here in Columbus. We live off of 26th Street. Right back behind us is 25th Street, which is by far probably the busiest road in Columbus. It is a highly, highly trafficked area. So, anyways, I let the boys out. And then I go let them out for a couple minutes. And I go back to get them, and I'm yelling for them, and they won't come in. So I go out to see where they're at. I can't find them at all. So I'm surveying the land, and sure enough, towards the back of our fence, you can see where I know it's Cash has dug a hole to get out of the backyard. And at this point, I'm going into freaking like psycho dad panic mode, like like fucking
The babies.
Yeah, like Liam Neeson's like lost his daughter again. Like, what the fuck? Where are they? So I literally like hop in my car. And I have my windows rolled down. And today was a very cold, gusty day.
Indeed.
Probably like 20 plus degrees or whatever. So I don't even have time to put a coat on because I'm just freaking out. I throw my shitty little like $10 Crocs on. And that was rude, I think.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I am trying frantically to find them. So like we have our yard, it's all fenced in, of course. It's a privacy fence. But you can't necessarily like walk around the neighbors' yards because that's all fenced in too. So I literally had to go out over a street, which, like I say, is one of the busiest streets to go to, and I'm looking for them frantically. Like I'm not even knowing what I'm really doing. I'm just freaking the fuck out. So I pull up to the area where they would have come, and I can't see them at all. So it's like, okay, fuck. I guess I go around the neighborhood or whatever. And then as I'm pointing out, I can see Cash trying to wiggle his butt back in because he knows Dad is freaking out and wanting to know where the hell he is. So, and as I'm trying, now keep in mind, as I do this, I noticed there was a car veered off the road. And in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, is that something to do with them? Or could it possibly be something else? But I see Cash. I'm like, I got to get the fuck back to the house. So I frantically drive back to the house. Get in here and open the door, and Cash is right there, but Reggie's not with him. Now, keep in mind with Reggie, this little shit, he tends to get out quite frequently. Well, I shouldn't say quite frequently, but if he has the opportunity,
he's going to run.
He's going to run, and he's going to go on a little journey because he is a half Beagle, half Boston Terrier. And that's Chubby you here, by the way. Chubby,
shut the fuck up.
We're trying to do something here.
I don't give a fuck what you're doing.
We'll explain more on that later. But anyway, so I don't see Reggie, so I'm like, go back to the scene of the crime, if you will. And that car, or a car is pulled in there, so I pull in, and I'm still looking, and it was a nice girl. She's like, hey, did you lose a couple dogs? I'm like, oh my God, yes. So she tells me that both of them were crossing 25th Street, the busiest intersection in our city, and thank God she loves dogs too and had the wherewithal to stop and fear and kind of like she did scratch up her bumper, but God bless her, she said it was okay. I was just worried I was going to hit the dogs or whatever. So I asked her, I was like, well, did you happen to see where they went? She's like, well, they were with each other and stuff. And I said, well, I've got the big one back, but I don't have the little one. So, anyways, I go and I'm going down houses on 25th Street. About the third house down, there is the little shit Reggie, and his little floppy ears are kind of pulled back. He's kind of freaking out a little bit, but still like taking his little snooter around, sniffing stuff. And thankfully, we've learned if you have treats with you, that's an easy way to corral him. And I got Reggie back, and I literally like was. I have no shame. I was crying in my fucking car, and I don't cry. I was just
You're a
mentally.
good dad.
Thanks. I was mentally exhausted. And by the way, this is all going on, and Savannah is like taking a nap with Peanut, and I'm just thinking like, oh my god, she's gonna wake up and be like, what the fuck? Like, what did you do? And I don't want to wake her up to like try to, I'm gonna figure this out because that's what dads do.
Mm-hmm.
And then sure enough, I come in and she's up with Peanut. She's like, well, where the hell were you?
I couldn't find Reggie. I thought maybe for whatever reason he took Reggie with him somewhere, and I'm like, all right, whatever.
That was the story of what happened today. But no, we absolutely love dogs. We are a dog family. And it's interesting, like, our backgrounds, because I'll be honest with you guys, I always liked dogs, but I was never truly a dog person until I met Savannah. So, as a kid, I did have a dog. His name was Spike, and he was a beagle. And beagles are a big part of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And we love them, but also they can be a pain in the ass, but we still love them. But anyway, Spike was a beagle, and my dad got him for me from like somebody was giving away dogs or whatever. And Spike, for us, when I was growing up, we lived in a little trailer, so Spike was an outside dog. And Spike would always he had his doghouse and stuff like that and stuff, but we mostly keep him outside. Now we did have a little fenced-in area for him, but it wasn't much, but it was what it was. Well, Spike was a beagle and stubborn, and I can remember one instance where he was going after he had puked up, and he was going after his puke, trying to eat it, and I tried to go as a kid stop him. And keep in mind, you're a little kid, you can't think any other, right? So, and of course, and then he ended up biting me. But it wasn't his fault, he was in his own thing or whatever. So then my dad was just like ixnay on that. But and my dad, God love him, like he meant well, but it's just we probably shouldn't have had a dog with where we were at. So he ended up, I think as the story goes, if I remember, he gave him to somebody else or whatever. But he didn't tell me, and like didn't tell my mom, and my mom was the most pissed I've ever seen her in her life. Like, and I'm old enough to know, like, I'm still young, but I'm old enough to know, like, when there's some shit going down, there's some shit going down. Like, I remember she had to go stay with our minister and his wife overnight because she was so pissed off.
Damn.
Oh, it was terrible. And I can even, like, realize in the clarity of the situation, I even remember, and I was probably 10 when this happened, by the way, telling, the next day as mom and dad are back together and we're all talking about the situation, I was like, man, you guys... I love the dog and stuff, but I love you guys too. I don't want you getting a divorce. And that was just like, what the fuck? Can you imagine hearing that from your 10-year-old child? But, and I remember too, I think what was really sent her over the edge is like, we were going around our neighborhood trying to find him. And we went as far as to put up some missing posters and shit. So it was a fucked up situation. But like, it wasn't anything like it was just my dad made a mistake. We all make mistakes. We're all human. So, that was my background with dogs as a child, but I know you have a long and storied history with dogs, or puppy butts as we call them.
Yeah, there's always been at least one dog in our family from my infancy up until I left the house and grew up. There's too many to name, but the more notable ones that I remember growing up, my mom, like before, I think before Beth was born, like my dad got my mom a blue Merle Australian Shepherd. He was the most prettiest dog. He was white, black, and gray. He had a little, bobtail, and he had blue eyes. And my brother, who was into baseball at the time, named him after Bo Jackson. We called him Jackson.
Oh, that's cool.
And then my mom loved this dog to pieces. If you know my mom, she loves to sing, and her version of opera, if you will. So growing up, I remember my mom would be doing chores or whatever with us, and she'd just get this wild hair up her ass to start singing opera, and she'd be like, woo! And then Jack would be like howling with her singing, and they would develop this rapport where she would egg Jack on, and she'd be like, "Don't you be eyeballing me, dog," and he'd be like, "Woo, woo," it was hysterical. And Jack lived with us for a long time, from the Poplar Street house in Seymour to the farm in Bologna. And after we got Jack, my dad worked at this auto body shop out on Highway 50. It's called T&T. And I don't know if this dog was just lost or if someone just was a heartless fuck and just dropped him off at the body shop or whatever. But my dad brought home this Boston Terrier. He only had one eye, and the eye that he did have, he was blind in. So my dad affectionately named this dog Beetle Dump, or AKA Dump, because of the place that he lived in. He was a shop dog, essentially. And my dad and his coworkers would feed him anything, and they'd give him beer in his little bowl at the and my dad loved him so much he brought him home. And if you know my dad's a joker. He loves dogs. He'll deny it blue in the face, but he loves dogs. And I remember,
I've seen it firsthand.
I remember as a child living in the Seymour, the Poplar Street house, my dad would fuck with Dump all the time. I had these little, I think maybe they were 5 pound, these little hand weights that I'd use to work out with. And my dad put one in Dump's mouth. Keep in mind, Dump is blind. He put the weight in Dump's mouth. Dump would just hang on to it in his mouth, like nothing. And then my dad would take the hand weight and with Dump still in his mouth. And he'd sway Dump back, wind him up, and just toss him across the floor because we had hardwood floors, and his nails would slide. It was hysterical. But, Dump was another resident in our house. I love that dog to pieces. I have a scar, actually, on my nose, right about on the bridge of my nose from where I got bit in the face by Dump, but I still loved him. And then Jack and Dump moved with us to the farm. And my dad wasn't really keen on having dogs in the house at that point. I don't know why. I don't know. But, Dump and Jack would live outside on the farm. And these dogs were getting older, and the winters were getting harsh. And my dad, he just couldn't live with the guilt of, letting them live out there in the cold. So at night, he would bring them in, and they'd sleep in the basement. Because we had a walkout basement. And eventually it got to be the point where, they were having health problems, and my dad, being the frugal man that he is, he took care of business, so to speak, and we didn't know until later that Jack and Dump were gone, and he took them out to Boot Hill up in the woods behind the house.
That's gotta be tough too. I can't even imagine doing that. Having that'd be the roughest thing in the world to do.
I couldn't imagine.
Yeah.
And then after that, I wanted to get another dog. And I still can't believe, it had to have been my dad wanted to get another dog too, otherwise this wouldn't have happened. But my mom knew this lady who lived on Highway 50 in this farmhouse, and she had a female lab dog that had just had puppies. Now, they didn't know exactly who the baby daddy was, but these labs were fluffy. I think they were yellow and black, and they were real thick and fluffy. So they assumed that the baby daddy was a border collie, but we learned later on that actually the dog that I got, we named him Monty. He's half lab, and we knew this because we looked at his feet and just the overall, you know, characteristics of the dog. He was actually part lab, part Newfoundland. The dog loved to swim. He had webbed feet because Newfoundlands do. They have webbed paws. And real thick, real hairy, sweet as can be dog. He loved living with us out on the farm, going in the creek. And then when we moved to the Brownstown house, back when I was getting ready to graduate college, his name was Zepp, like Led Zeppelin, but we
awesome.
called him Zepp. He must have caught wind of a female dog in heat or whatever, because he ran off, and then shortly after, my dad called my mom and said, "Hey, I found Zepp," and it turned out his body was found on the side of the road as you're leaving Brownstown. He had got hit by a car, and that was a really hard time for me.
Oh, I can't even imagine. That's the bad thing about living out in the country too, because they can so prone to getting out, or like when they are out, they want to explore, especially too, depending on the breed.
Yeah, we didn't keep him like chained up or anything. He just, for whatever reason, he was used to sleep in the carport, and then for whatever reason he just took off and he ended up getting hit by a car. And like I say, there's plenty other stories about other dogs, but I don't want to take up any more time.
No, it's fine. So yeah, so when Savannah and I started dating, the very first dog of theirs I met was Teddy.
Ted, yeah.
Or Ted. And Ted's like a Scotty kind of like.
He's a mutt. He's got Scotty in him, and I think I think Lindy said he was a min pin, or I don't know. He's a mutt, but anyway.
When he's still with us, he's an old man now. But,
he's like 15 or 16.
Wow,
he's old.
Yeah, and he's a blind old man
who,
when I remember, a big yapper. Anybody come in there, and we got along great at first. No, he was just kind of like, who the hell is this guy? But no, so as we started dating, I think at this point too, it was like you were really missing, or you was really wanting a dog, pretty much.
Yeah, I missed Zeb.
You missed Seb a lot, and I never like when we started dating. I had met Seb. Like when did that happen before we started dating? Probably what, a year or something?
A year or so at least.
So, next thing I know, we get our firstborn, our first child, the magnificent, the beautiful,
regal,
dignified Peanut. Peanut, his full name is Peanut Humphrey Bogart. And why is that? Well,
because he has papers, fool.
that. But Peanut, I think it was just like, that's just what came to you, pretty much.
Well, I mean, when I got him, he was super tiny.
Yeah.
I got him off this lady in Seymour, and like there was an ad in the paper. She was selling him for like $250, which for a full-blooded animal, I mean, either she was on drugs or, I mean, it was a deal. But
full-blooded, AK, well, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, AKC registered Boston Terrier, 100%. And what was cool about him, and we never did this, and we're glad we never did this because it's a distinct feature of his. They didn't dock his tails like they do most. So, like, his tail is natural.
It's long.
It's long, and we call it his butt finger.
Because it looks like a finger.
Because it does look like a finger. So, I remember, like, the first time coming over and meeting him, like, because she had already had him for, like, a couple days or something. and like him just coming up to me and licking me on the face, like Dada. So he's a man. He's such a good dog. Like
Very smart.
very smart. Listens. And like realistically speaking, he is the reason why we have 3 other dogs.
Exactly.
Because we're just like, oh, this is a cakewalk with our first one. Because I mean, he was potty trained right away. He was very good about like not getting in fights or whatever with other dogs.
Even-tempered.
Even tempered. He loved people. Still does to this day.
Travels well.
Travels well. So yeah, he is such a good boy, and he is. He's always been a big part of our relationship because I mean I don't even think we were maybe together 6 months and you got him.
Yeah.
So he's been with us through thick and thin,
Mm-hmm.
and we have lots of nicknames for him. Of course, our favorite I think being Nutsack.
That was a name given to him by my father, just FYI.
I don't remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Huh. Nutsack. I remember he called him Nutburger.
That too, yeah.
Nutburger. But it's funny as you get your dogs, and you're with your dogs and like their personalities, like you get to know them, like and how they
Their mannerisms
and stuff. And Peanut is I don't want to say diva, but
He's high maintenance.
He's high maintenance
to a
yeah,
degree.
to a degree, yeah. It doesn't take much to make him happy. He loves blankies. Blankies is his favorite, I would
Mhm.
say, along with of course food. Man, this dog farts so much. Most Bostons do.
Because of their shortened snout.
Yeah, but yeah, Peanut was our baby, still is, or your stinky baby.
He's my stinky baby, and I love him.
Oh yeah, and we did a lot of stuff with Peanut. Like we would go places. Like I remember everybody be like, "Oh, I love your dog," and like I remember one time specifically, we went to a restaurant. And it was I don't even think it was his birthday. It was just a restaurant where you could bring your dogs and sit outside and eat. And they made like Peanut his own dish, and it was like a little burger with like some sauce on it, and then it had like a cheese on it, but it was like the cheese was shaped up like a crown.
And they wrote his name in ketchup.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is the coolest shit.
That's adorable.
So, Peanut is the he's like the good child. He's the good son. He's the one that goes on, as I've always put it, and becomes a doctor, a lawyer, and he makes you proud. So, a year into having Peanut, we decided, you know what? He needs a playmate. And oh boy, this is where we fucked up. No,
Yep.
not really.
Yeah.
But we at this point we were living in an apartment in Greenwood,
Mm-hmm.
and we just moved up there, and you can have a limit on 2 dogs. And Peanut's a small little guy anyway. So Savannah's like, I want another dog. So I looked high, I looked low, and then I believe I found it in like I think it was like a newspaper ad online
Yeah.
or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, this is when we would get our problem child, Chubby.
Chub.
Or Chub. Or his full name is Chubby Franklin McGee. And he's looking at us like, what the fuck?
We're talking about me.
So anyways, and the story of how we got him is fucking hilarious.
But it makes sense to who he is.
Yeah. So first of all, when we got him, his name was Samson, and we seen this picture of him, and his
he was so
baby picture.
cute.
Like, say what you will, but his baby pictures was fucking adorable. Just like
rolls for days.
So Chubby is a Beagle Bulldog mix. So imagine the face of a beagle and the body of a bulldog, and like Savannah said, have rolls for days. So. The breeder had him in Fort Wayne, so we drove all the way to Fort Wayne to pick his ass up. And so we get Chubbs with us, and for those of you who don't know, Greenwood to Fort Wayne's about a good 2-hour drive, I'd say, or close to it.
Yeah, something like that.
First of all, we get him, and he's doing nothing but crying. And then, I don't even think we have him 5 minutes, right?
Yeah, we were in the car with him.
And he vomited all over
Puked all
Savannah.
over me.
Like, all of his kibble and
Like
stuff.
it wasn't even
everything.
digested. It just
Yeah.
like the breeder had to have fed him probably like 5 minutes or something before we came to get him because it wasn't even digested.
Absolutely.
and we had to pull over in a church parking lot nearby so I could clean the puke off of me and get it out of the car and get him settled. And then we drove on our way home because this pet store, Uncle Bill's, yeah, I know, yeah, was like right next door to our apartment complex. So we took him in there, and we were just looking around at all the different stuff because we didn't have like a puppy. We didn't have the puppy stuff beforehand. So we brought him in there with us, and the sales girl that was working at the time, she goes, "Oh, you want me to take him and just see how much he weighs and all that?" And I'm just like, "Yeah." And I'm like, 15 pounds right off the bat.
Boom.
She takes him and brings him back, and she goes, "You were right on. He weighs exactly 15 pounds.
Yep. And thus the legend was born. And the whole ride, too, he is crying, like, nonstop. Weeping. And then, like, it was so funny. I can remember he was, like, his short little Tyrannosaurus Rex-like legs.
He couldn't climb up and down stairs, couldn't get on the couch. We had to put a couch pillow on the floor so he could climb on top of that and get on the couch.
In our apartment we were staying at, we had a little, like, maybe 5 or 6 stairs to climb up. We were in the lower level. We'd always have to pick him up to take him outside. And he peed. I'd always peed like a girl for the longest time. Took him forever to, like, understand the raising the leg. But, yeah, he's been a handful over the years, I'm not going to lie.
He's bipolar.
He is definitely bipolar if there ever was one. And it's like he has such unique quirks about him. Like, this damn dog will not go outside unless you go out with him.
Yes.
He will not go outside.
Very insecure.
Yeah. And if you close the damn door for 1 second, he's back there scratching at the door and crying. He wants to be let in. Like Peanut, he's an eater. Loves to eat. Well, I mean, most dogs do.
He's very food aggressive.
Yeah,
he can't put food on the floor with the other dogs around because he will attack.
Yes, this is true. But as we got to know him, we did love him. We still do love him to this day, of course. But I was talking about Peanut, how he's like the good son, right? Well, Chubby is like your son who's 30, lives in your basement,
and sells weed.
Exactly, that's Chubby for you. So, and then as time goes on, I think most people do this, or most pet owners do this, especially if like you're true lovers. Like, you know, you pick up on their quirks, their personalities, and thus
you do voices for them.
Yeah, the voices, and the voices were born.
And don't you dare lie, any of you pet owners out there, say that you don't do this, because I know you do. You just don't. You're not as vocal about it as we are.
Yeah, we're fucking crazy about it. But it's funny how the evolution of their voices became, because Peanuts was kind of like a very dainty, like, I can do him, but you do him much better than
he's effeminate, but like, you know, he's ambiguous with his sexuality. You know.
What the hell are you talking about? Why are you talking about me? Yes, Peanut, we are talking about you. Well, you should stop, because you're embarrassing me, and you're embarrassing yourself. Yes, I do like the finer things in life. And yes, I am a beautiful male model dog, because yes, everything we see Boston, it's like Peanut is inspired. Yeah, that's the truth, and you know it. But Peanut, very, you know, like Savannah says, very needy. But what? I'm not needy. Shut the hell up. And it's funny how he's gotten older too. He's
more cranky.
He is more cranky. And then like it's cool over the years. Like you see like because when we first got them, I don't think Bostons were as popular as a breed they were starting to be. But now they're like fucking.
They're
huge.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And like with Frenchies.
Oh yeah, the cousin of the Boston. Yeah, but a Frenchie has nothing on me. Okay, Peanut. That's cool. But. Yeah, and then it was this is where he really got an attitude. I didn't get an attitude. Tell them about my Oscar-winning film, Feast. Yes, that's right. For those of you who don't know, there is a short film by Pixar called Feast, which is absolutely fucking adorable.
It's adorable.
It's amazing. I can't remember. I think it was attached to maybe Big Hero 6 or something like that. Yeah.
It was.
But it was literally a story of a Boston. So a guy gets a Boston Terrier, takes him in with him, and then like he just talks about how like he just loves eating food so much. And like pretty much like he's eating regular dog food, and then he starts eating people food, and he absolutely loves it. And that's the truth with our boys.
Mm-hmm.
They'll eat just about anything. And then guy gets a girl, and he ends up starting eating healthier. And she's like giving him like Brussels sprouts and stuff,
Parsley,
and the dog Winston is his name, by the
Winston.
way, wants nothing to do with it. So then Winston would go on to, or anyways, the guy and the girl would break up, and then the guy would start like binge eating and stuff, and Winston was happy again because he kept eating a bunch of shit. And then he realizes how sad his owner is. So then he makes a break for it one day and goes to I guess this girl worked at a restaurant nearby or something.
Yeah, she was a waitress.
Yeah. And he goes and tries to get them reunited, and he succeeds. And the next thing you know, they're married. And then the next thing you know, it's like he's satisfied. I mean, it'd be cool if he got food and stuff, but he's
happy.
He's happy because his owners are happy. And the next thing you know, you see a little boy. I think it's a little boy.
It's a boy.
And he throws his meatball at Winston, and now Winston's in heaven again because he's getting all the food from the kid. Yes, it was very well done. And I believe I still have royalties coming to me. I'm going to get my agent Sergio on this. That's right, because Peanut has an agent named Sergio. This is true. This is all a true story. So that's Peanut for you. But now Chubby. Now, Chubby's voice, it's funny how we come up with him because I think we've come to the conclusion that he is part Arnold Schwarzenegger, part Christopher Walken. But the main thing is with Chubby's personality, as some of you may have seen, he's a dick. Oh, that is the nicest thing you've ever said about me, you fuck. Thanks. Love you too. Yeah, I'm pretty fucking awesome. So you want to talk about me, huh? You're going to talk about how awesome I am. And by the way, he's staring like daggers into me. Yeah, you fuck. Like, you better put me over. Tell them how big my dick is. You don't have a big dick, Chubby.
I do.
It's just a regular-sized penis.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, it's fucking huge. And all the bitches love it. Oh, my God. Okay, here we go again. Like, well, Chubby, tell us about what your hobbies are. Well, I like beaches and drugs. And beggars. You know, the two B's with the D. The what? Never mind. It's over your head, you fuck. Well, thank you, Chubby. But yeah. So Chubby, he means well. Yeah, okay. And he loves to sing too, don't you, Chubbs? Yeah. I like doing,
I sing with Beach.
I sing with Beach, and do the chub talks and stuff. And it's funny, like, you can sing like some songs. I think the first one we found that he gravitated to was Jason. What was it? Jason Derulo.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, Chubby, what you gonna do with that big fat ass? Oh God, you're like right in the microphone, bro. Woo! That was loud.
Okay.
All right, everybody, calm down.
Calm down.
And he has trigger words too, which I'm not gonna say because he'll go crazy. But it's the Hispanic version of cool. Look it up. If you have any doubt about that, you could always Wikipedia that shit. Because I've got to get one in every episode. So, anyways, that is our boy. So, we've taken them on trips before, family vacays. Wasn't quite the same as with Peanut because Chubby is kind of special needs.
He is. He doesn't like people.
Yes, he does not. Although he loves his grandma and grandpa, and Nana and Pop Pop. Mm-hmm. And for those of you who don't know, Grandma and Grandpa is my parents, and Nana and Pop Pop is Savannah's.
Yep.
But yeah, and it was funny too when we got married. Like Chubby was not in the wedding, but he was there. But Peanut was in our wedding, and he was our
ring bearer, along with my nephew Nikolai.
Yeah, and it was so cute because it was like had his little bow tie on. And I was like, thank you
for coming.
Thank you. So we have, and keep in mind too, we're the crazy nuts too. Also, the dogs sleep with us.
I
mean, the dogs are with us like all the time. Like they're with us right now. Literally, all of them are in this room with us. So, but and it's funny too because Chubby is definitely, I would say, a mama's boy. Yeah, fuck you. I do whatever I want. It's just I gravitate to Beach because she is pack leader. Well, you got no argument there. But yeah, so we had the boys. We went on trips, went on adventures. I remember going to Florida or
Myrtle
going to
Beach.
Myrtle Beach several times with her family. We go like walk around and stuff, and like it's hard because like people like look at him and like, oh, he's so cute. It's like, stay away.
Stay back.
Yeah. Let's be honest. I do not like you, you fucks.
So
Leave
don't
me,
fucking touch me.
yeah, leave me the fuck alone. If you know what is good for you. So, and it's funny too. Like over the years, as we, we're the crazies who does these voices, and it's kind of like it's kind of therapeutic in a way because it's kind of like you can almost call each other out on your own bullshit,
Yeah.
because Chubby's a dick.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's kind of weird living through him, if that makes any sense. So. But yeah, we had him and Peanut. Oh gosh,
Since
well,
we got Peanut in 2012 and we got Chubbs in 2013.
they went through a couple moves with us, and then when we got to the house
That
we're
we're
at
at now.
I think we had them for about 6 months, and that's when the surprise came. It's kind of like when you have the third kid and like you weren't really trying, and it was just like, oh shit. But this is a fun story. I'll let Savannah tell this.
So, I worked at this doctor's office that's actually not too far from our house, and I made a couple friends there who were actually best friends on their own. And what had happened is their dogs, male and female, got together and had a litter of pups. And one friend was like trying to figure out ways to get rid of said pups. And she posted pictures on Facebook. And, I saw this one. It was so cute. He was all white except for a solid black head. It kind of reminded me of a dipped cone. So I would call him that. And then I told her that I was interested in that one. And she goes, "Oh, well, he's a boy and I'll keep him for you until he's ready to be weaned and all that." And this was around the time when we were getting ready to go on our vacation with our friends to Las Vegas. So we had went and we had come back and I'd made arrangements.
And if I could just interject, the whole time this is going on, I have no fucking
idea.
As a matter of fact, you even told Emily and Greg, I believe, about what was going on.
Well, I told Emily. She told Greg.
Yeah. So they got to play it cool, like, because I have no fucking idea this is going on.
So we get home from Vegas, and we're back at the house. He leaves to go to the store or something.
Yeah, I went to go get groceries.
And I'm texting my friend, and she's like, "Well, I'm home now. You can come and get him." So I left.
So as I'm gone, I come home with groceries, and she's gone, and I don't think anything of it. I just think, okay, she went to the gym or did something or whatever. So I'm in there with the boys, just chilling.
And then I go to my friend's house, and I get him. And I'm riding in a pickup truck at this point because we had borrowed it from my father-in-law. And I get him. He's adorable. He's small and timid. And, the whole ride home, he just sat next to me and just slept. And I pull up to our house. I open the door, and I'm kind of holding him behind me. And then then Jeremy's like, "Oh, what's that?" And I bring him around to the front, and I go, "Yeah, we came home with Vegas, but with a little Cash, because Cash is his name."
Yes. Cassius Clay Cole, Triple C. But yeah, I was just thinking, like,
where'd you get it?
Where'd you get him? Like, what? Because I'm thinking, too, because we've been through this with Chubby, and it's like, he doesn't operate well with others, and I'm thinking, oh my God, there's no way we're going to make this work at all. But I am so grateful and glad she did, because it's funny, we're already in love with dogs and stuff, but this is like, he's daddy's boy.
He is a daddy's boy, and he's so sweet and timid and, just a baby. And he's been that way, his whole life. And he's just the sweetest, the best dog ever.
He's a love bug. He's always he's by our side right now, and just resting because he will go with us. Like people talk about like going to the bathroom and the dog follows you. It's
Yeah,
like,
that's
him.
Cash.
Yeah. Although all of our dogs pretty much
Yeah,
follow us. So.
yeah.
Yeah. So Cash, he is a sweet, adorable, beautiful boy. And his mix was, I always get this mixed up. What was the mom?
The mom is a golden retriever, and the dad is a mixture of a German Shepherd and a Coonhound.
He pretty much looks majority Coonhound, by the way.
He's all white with black spots, and he's got a nearly solid black head, but his muzzle is white with black spots.
Yeah, and he loves cookies, or tookies, as we call them.
He loves toys.
Loves toys. And this dog is the one, like the other boys, they like toys too for a while, and then kind of like whatever. And they still like toys to a certain extent.
But they're old.
But they're older. But this was the first dog I ever seen where, like, this dog made it like a purpose to destroy fucking toys. Like, he would go right for the squeaker. Like, there's been so many damn toys he's killed over the year. And their carcasses, like, still remain somewhat. But yeah, he always knows, like, right where the squeaker is. He always pulls the damn thing out. There's always fuzzies and other shit all the way around. And this dog, too, man, like, we've gotten Kong stuff and he's fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, challenge accepted, bitch.
He loves to dig. He loves to be outside.
Oh, my God. Hence what happened today.
Yeah, hence the previous story.
But yeah, we have our backyard, man.
It's like a war zone.
Yeah, it's bad, and we filled it before, and
it doesn't matter.
We need to do it again and do something different. I know I've heard people talk about putting like some spices or something down, I think, or seasonings or something to keep dogs from digging. But there is literally clay holes all over our fucking backyard,
and tripping in them is fun.
Oh my God, yeah, it happens all the fucking time, but we wouldn't have him any other way. He's a sweet little boy, and he has little quirks about him, but he like Savannah says, he is such a well-behaved, sweet little boy. And it's funny, too, because he's the biggest one out of them all.
But he's the biggest baby.
Yes, that's true, too. But he can get to shit. So, like, there's been many a times where he's ate, like, our sandwiches or other things.
Because he can reach.
Because he can reach. Of the stove. He's smart. Yeah. And it's just like, you have to get onto him. And it's like, he just looks at you with this, like, baby doll face. And you're like, okay, fine, whatever. It's cool, dude.
And he likes to hide behind the fireplace. Because we have an electric fireplace. And he likes to go behind there. And that's his clubhouse.
Clay's clubhouse.
So he goes back there when things get a little too, stressful. And he just goes over there and chills for a little bit. And then he comes out.
Yeah, that is our baby boy, Cassius Clay. And at this point, we're like, okay, three's plenty. And then, like, you would have thought, okay, if we get a fourth one, like, what are you thinking, dude? And, like, the fourth one, believe it or not, it was my doing, actually. So, this was Christmas last year. I was like, you know what? I'm going to get her a dog. So I was going to go the route of like doing an adoption and stuff. And like people talk about adoption. I'm all for it, man. But I tell you this, it is a pain in the ass to adopt a dog nowadays. It just truly is. So
you might as well be adopting an actual baby for the criteria.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, it's funny because like that holiday season, we were really looking forward to. Our best friends, Greg and Emily, they finally got a dog. Beautiful dog, Mango.
She's gorgeous.
A full-blooded golden retriever.
English cream golden retriever.
Oh yeah. And we were looking so forward to like playing her with her and like having her interact at least with Cash and possibly Peanut. No Chubby because we know that's no bueno. That's not going to work.
Hi, Reggie.
So anyways, so that was kind of down in the dumps thing. So we go and we meet up with Greg and we have some mother bears, and then afterwards it's like we're just chilling and running around, and we go into a pet store
at the Bloomington Mall.
At the Bloomington Mall. Little would we know, our fourth and final member of our family would be there. Little Reggie Ruru. Or as we call him, his name is Reggie Miller Cole.
Reginald Miller Cole.
And it was funny because like we were we were looking at him, and like we got him, and it was like he instantly went to Savannah. He's like, "Mama, mommy, take me home, get me out of the pokey," which is what we call the pet store. He's looking at us like, "Huh?" And it was one of those things where like we were kind of debating, like, okay, do we do this? Do we not do this? Like, and then we just decided, okay, we're gonna do it. We're gonna get him. So, and then it was funny as we're like going through the process of getting him, which took fucking forever, by the way.
4 hours.
But it was worth it. But it was like Savannah's like, well, what would be a name? And I said Reggie, and she instantly was like, yes, that's it. And yes, he's named after my favorite athlete of all time, or one of my favorite athletes of all time, Mr. Reggie Miller. Now Reggie, Reggie is a half beagle. Like, oh god, here we go again.
Mistake number 1.
And half Boston Terrier. So he's got the Boston markings, but he's brindle, and he has like a beagle face, and he's got the beagle ears and stuff. And he's a little guy like Peanut, all 20 pounds of him, if that. And he pretty much runs the show now. Little man just turned 1 about a month ago, or no, it was about a month ago.
Yeah.
And this little shit loves toys.
Loves bottle caps.
Loves bottle caps. So
he off Gatorade or like water bottles, or he just likes to chew them.
Yeah, he loves toys as well, and destroys them and gets the squeakers out too. Him and Cash are like bosom buddies. They are by each other's side constantly, and even though he annoys Peanut, I think Peanut is like, okay, it's fine, you little shit. yeah. I mean, as long as he's not taking my blankie or anything else, then he's okay, I guess. I'm not gonna be a dick. I will be. No, I am taking the little fuck, and he will be my apprentice, and I will show him the ways of being an asshole. And Chubby has kind of done that so far. But it's interesting, yeah, Chubby's kind of taken to him, actually. They've kind of bonded a little bit, I think, over time. Yeah. It took a little while.
They'll play, but
yeah,
the asshole beagle in him takes over, and then we got to separate them. But yeah, they'll play at least.
But yeah, Reggie, he loves bottle caps. He loves chewing on, or we call them babas.
Yeah.
Toys. He's got an appetite, a ferocious appetite too. Maybe the most ferocious out of all of them, which is scary. But he, I remember when we first got him, and we come home with like some dog food from the pet store, and like that shit apparently was nasty. He wanted nothing to do with it. We started feeding him Mars guys and stuff, and oh my god, it's like
you have to watch him, because like how we feed him, like Cash's food is usually behind our couch because it's an open floor plan.
So Peanut goes in the laundry room.
Chubby goes in the bathroom
because we have to keep him away from everybody.
And we feed Reggie on top of the stove, and we have to keep a hand on him, because if not, he'll finish first, and then he'll go after Cash's and Peanuts.
I would like to make a suggestion. Next time, turn the stove on. Oh, Chubby. I'm just kidding. I love the little fuck, whatever. As long as he doesn't get my food. But yeah, so that is our household. And if you can imagine this, all 4 of them sleep in our bed with us. And we have a king size. We could definitely use a California king.
That'd be nice,
but we probably still wouldn't have enough room, because it's funny because Savannah and I are like literally on the edges, and then these guys are. So like typical, like Savannah will usually go to bed before me, and Savannah will always take Peanut because Peanut's ready. He's always ready.
He's old.
Yeah, and then I'll take the other 3 with me. And as Chubby's gotten older, he's had some difficulty trying to see in the dark. So we do have like a night light in there now for him, so he can see where the hell he's going. And he'll jump up and get his fat ass up the bed. Fuck you! I don't have a fat ass. It's because my dick is so big. It's like the proportions of it take me. Whatever, dude. You don't have a big dick. We've established it. You've established nothing. You fuck. Okay. All right. Easy on down. So yeah, and then Cash is always with me. So he's always, and he likes to be under the blankie, and Reggie likes blankie too. So
he has to be by my side.
Chubby, he does not like to be on the blankie or underneath. He likes to be on top of it,
in between us.
And he always does this annoying thing where he licks himself, and it like pisses Savannah off to no end. And she's like, shut up, and hits on him. Yeah, the bitch hits me. Did you hear that? She abuses me. No, that's not the case, you little shit. But anyways, yeah, that's a typical night for us, like going to bed and these dogs too. Now Peanut and Chubby not so much, but the youngest ones, they are like clockwork, and they know when it's time to eat. And when the time changes happens, like it just did recently, man, it really fucks things up because these guys are like always up at 6. And so it's like now 5 o'clock rolls around and they want up, and it's like, oh, it's feeding time and stuff. And it's like, come on, man. Like I don't even remember last time we slept in on a weekend. It's like
they're just like regular kids.
Yep. So they always eat at like 6 and
4:30,
4:35. Yeah, like clockwork. And it's funny because like it's what they do and don't like. Like Chubby and Peanut absolutely love car rides. They are all about jumping up and going on a nice car ride. Cash and Reggie,
not so much.
Not so much. They're not fans of them. Like Cash always go freak out about them and stuff.
He has to be in the console in between us.
Yes. WALKs because we can't say the word. The Chubby and Peanut love, but the other two, well, Cash, I think Cash is okay with it.
Yeah, he likes it.
He likes it, and Reggie, I think Reggie's the one who doesn't really like it. And it's not so much that I don't think he likes going out. It's just he wants to be able to roam on his own.
Yeah, he doesn't like the leash.
Yeah.
We didn't do Cash's or.
Oh
Reggie's
yeah, I was gonna
voice.
say so their voices, and I think Reggie's voices is still evolving. So Cash is like,
because he's so sweet and.
Yeah, you're doing better than me, I think.
Hey, Dad, quit talking about me, okay? Because I don't want these guys to get the wrong idea. You know, I'm a tough guy too.
Yeah. And then Reggie's is kind of similar, but kind of
choppier.
Like choppier, I would say. It's kind of like, oh Dad, yeah, I'm just here. I'm living my blue life, you know.
Where's my baba?
I need my baba. And like, it's funny because like all of his little nicknames we have for him, like Ruru, I call him Rusev, Rusev,
Rusevic,
the Meat Man, which we named him after John Silver from the Dark Order. For you wrestling fans out there, I feel like he has more nicknames too.
And our ever popular one that we're using a lot now, Snoot.
Yeah, little Snoot. And the funny thing, Savannah says all the time now. I think we say this like 6 or 7 times daily now. It's like, there is no Dana.
Only Snoot. Ghostbusters too.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's our family, man, and like we'd be lost without our dogs, man.
Yeah.
Like they are such an integral and important part of our lives, and so much so that we are going to be coming to you on YouTube as we are going to start up with our new YouTube show on Cult TV entitled "Tell them the title. Tell them you fuck." I'm getting to that. Okay, Chub Life. That's right. So this show, it's kind of, we've always talked about over the years because we have like inner monologues and stuff with each other and just say the fun. At least it's funny to us.
Yeah.
I think other people get a kick out of it too.
Just of the random and absurd and downright, vulgar things we can come up with our dogs.
Yeah, because that's another funny thing too. When you're speaking through your dogs, you can kind of get by with saying just about anything. Not that we're going to, but I'm just saying. Yeah. Yeah, I want to talk about how big my penis is. Will you quit it with your dick? Seriously, dude. Like, you are a big dick, but not in that sense. Whatever, bastard. Oh, yeah, and that's another thing. I'm bastard. Like, he doesn't, like, refer to us as, like, mom and dad. It's I'm bastard, she's bitch. Yeah, it's like, never, I love you, Dad. It's like, I love you, bastard. Another thing we do for our boys is their birthdays. So in our family, they get what we call birthday cake. Now, what we mean by birthday cake, that is a Five Guys cheeseburger. Now, granted, we don't give them a full size. We just do the junior cheeseburger.
The little ones.
But each one of them gets a cheeseburger for their birthdays. And, I mean, so you got 4, so that's 4 times a year where they get a full Five Guys cheeseburger. I think,
and toys.
And toys, of course. And we spoil the shit out of our dogs. But in return, they give us nothing but loves and kisses. And it's like you can come home from a shitty day, and they're right there for you, man. And it's funny because like so when we go places, we'll usually put them up in their cages, or their kennels or whatever you want to call it. Now we can leave Peanut out on his own and Chubby, but the little Ruru gets into all sorts of shit.
He's a little menace.
Yeah, he can be a menace. So we got to put him up. And then also too, when I mentioned how he gets out, like if one of us is coming in or something and he's loose and he goes to the front door, oh boy, good luck. It's like when we're coming home, we'll even like text each other and be like, "Hey, I'm about there. Can you grab Reggie?" So he also one thing I forgot to mention too with Reggie, he has a unique quirk. Well, the only dog we've ever seen do this, he eats his like foot.
He chews on his back foot, like puts the whole foot in his mouth. Doesn't gag or nothing. He just goes to town.
Yeah, just like it's an hors d'oeuvre or something, because he's a stupid asshole. Chubby, you love your brother. Okay, yes, he is, half big or so, and I allow him to breathe, so yeah, I guess you can constitute that as love, you fuck. Oh, well, we are, like I say, later this upcoming week, on Cole TV, you will see the very first episode of Chub Life. And, well, Chubby, you want to tell us a little bit about the first episode? Oh, I certainly, bastards. So, in the premiere episode, you will get to know me and my stupid-ass family. And mostly, we're going to talk about the size of my dick. No, we're not going to talk about the size of your dick, for God's sakes. Jesus. You don't have a big penis. Bastard, that is envy. You are just jealous of me. And I don't blame you. I'm like a tripod. Jesus, Chubby. So yeah, the very first episode, though, will be up on Cole TV later this week. And it's going to be, like I say, like Chubby's saying, an intro. You get to know our boys, get to know us a little bit. And most importantly, we can talk about one of my favorite things, my piss couch. It is my place of where I like to go.
Oh, the piss couch.
I love the piss couch. The piss couch is fun. And I've had piss furniture all throughout the years, Like, remember, hey, bastard. Yeah. Remember when we had that stupid fucking ottoman thing and I pissed on it? He's talking about the
Chase Lounge?
The Chase Lounge. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one. That is the piss lounge. Oh my God. You are something else. So. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this episode of Colecast today, as we have talked about our sweet little puppy butts. And I hope you guys will check out Chub Life. I think it's going to be a really fun series.
It's hilarious.
It's going to be fucking hilarious. Yeah, and I think you guys will all like and love it. You should go on his channel and subscribe now, you fucks, if you know what's good for you. Okay? If you don't, I would come to your house like the Tooth Fairy, only instead of leaving a tooth under your pillow, I'll leave a big pile of dog shit, because that's what I do. Oh my God. He's not going to shit on your pillows, folks, but seriously, you should check out Chub Life. It's a really good time. So, we are going to sign off here, and we hope, once again, that you join us this upcoming Thursday for the premiere episode of Chub Life. I'm Jeremy, a.k.a. XLJ the OG.
And I'm Savannah, a.k.a. Sad Sauvignon Bleh.
And I'm Peanut, and you can find me on Instagram at Peanut. We're closing the show down. Damn it, let me plug my stuff. It's okay, buddy. You'll in due time. And I am Chubby, the motherfucker, the baddest son of a bitch on the planet. And, okay, are you done? Because we're trying to end this. Whatever. So you've been listening to Chubcast, the podcast about a bunch of bullshit and whatever, and my massive dick size. Go and download my show, and otherwise,
subscribe, you fucks.
If you don't subscribe, I will fucking shit all over you. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.